The full sturgeon moon in the sign of Aquarius will be arriving on the scene next week, and it's coming in with the energy signature of the star at 17 degrees. It's highlighting, despite it being the shining jewel centerpiece of a celestial spectacle in the Perseid meteor shower, with some challenging aspects. The challenging aspects are those that we most come into awareness of when we're moving through Plutonian territory. And this is the shadow edge of that age of Aquarius, where we got 1 foot in that valley of the shadow and 1 foot ready to greet the new dawn. It's a dog-eat-dog world, though, and there's a lot of rabid, feral dogs out there barking, marking territory that's supposed to be free range. They're rabid, foaming at the mouth. There's tension in the world. The purveyors of the plan, the master plan to master those who should be able to master themselves, is going to be clamping down a bit harder, because there is a sense of losing control as this age that we're in winds down to its last breath. This is the time when we will see what has been there all along, but we were unwilling to look at, unwilling to face. This is when we are going to see the psychic projections that come from those that want to maintain their stronghold. It can play out in the macrocosm of the world stage. It can play out in the microcosm of our connections with our lovers, with our friends, with our nemesis, even though our nemesis is just there to show us some kind of reflection, a reflection of ourselves that maybe we don't want to acknowledge. We'll call it a curse. We'll call it a jinx. We'll say we're crossed. But the only one who crossed us is ourselves, and our unwillingness to see the opportunity we have here to take our proper place in the role of fortune as that wheel spins. Around and around the wheel of fortune goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. You could win big. You could lose it all. But in order to move into the expansion of this energy, we need to work with another sort of wheel. You could say the wheel of Dharma. We got to allow the wheel to turn and move into the expansion of Cancer, 21 degrees. Move out of our fixed state. And the only way that we can do this is to aspire to excellence. Because only when we feel that we have touched something divine within the earthly experience do we truly come into alignment with the purpose of our soul and the fulfillment of our mission for why we are here. This is activation of the master maker. It's a recognition that we have a choice to either build the light or to be part of concealing the truth, which is to remain within the shadow. We will either be complicit or we will be a force to reckon with, a force to reckon with that has been straightened by fire and thereby has found a certain steely strength, a certain metal that's been tempered that allows us to cut through the BS and lead by example. Only when we become self-referential, a symbol of collective authority, will we be free. of imposed restrictions. It requires discipline. It requires a transmutation of impulse. The distraction is to read the Riot Act, to move into a position of judgment, to start your finger pointing and busting open your record book of wrongs. Because the only thing anybody should be focusing on at this time is setting things right. Holding ourselves to a higher standard. And being aware of the company that we keep. Finding a balance not in needing to be right, but in understanding the role that all these aspects of creator play in how this world goes round. And that's all these different identities are, these different characters we meet along the way. They're just aspects, fragments of creator wanting to come back together again in a way that, though once broken, becomes something beautiful, like kintsugi. Just because something has shattered, just because there's a recognition that we've reached the barrier of a particular glass ceiling, doesn't mean that there's not a way to bring the broken pieces back together. And that this is a communal effort. It's when we look at the spirit of the Cauldron of Dagda, that not until we all find our way back to that place of integration will we ever really be free. And so we get to decide how long we're at this thing. And, you know, we faced this challenge before and we chose complicity over excellence. Be excellent to each other. I mean, Bill and Ted knew what it was all about. There's a little bit of this action going on right now. There's this quality of the wheel turning, and it is the hub of one timeline. The fact that there are different timelines is really just a belief construct. It's an illusion. It's a way to continue to stay in the state of consciousness where there's a divisive programming in place that needs to feel that there's separateness in things in order to feel a sense of safety or security. When the true liberation comes in recognizing that there is no security, that it is an open playing field, that the quantum field is a field of unlimited probabilities. And that should, in fact, inspire enthusiasm. Because if there are unlimited probabilities, it means there's actually much more possible than you've been telling yourself. And yeah, there's some rough stuff rolling out. There's heavy energy out there. There's scrambling energy. People feel desperate. When desperation takes hold, people lose their sense of integrity. They compromise themselves for success. They don't think of the cost of success. And they may think that the cost is worth paying. And they may think it's no big deal if I compromise my soul. But that becomes a crushing burden to bear when you recognize that you don't just compromise yourself, but others as well along the way. So this is the time when we have to really stop focusing on the other. It's by not focusing on the other that we get to the place where we can finally understand that the sense of the other is what's holding us back here. I'm going to bring in next week, pick a Stargate quest read. So it should be fun. We're going to play with this energy. I like to play with this energy. It's good to play with this energy. Not take it so serious, man. I mean, there's a gravity to it, sure. But there can also be a levity there as well. It's up to you. It's up to you how you choose to look at it. So if you're a free thinker and you have free agency of your mind, you can make it what you want to be. Revolutionary role-playing, it has value. It may be a bit Dr. Frankenfurter. Don't dream it, be it. But it helps to try it on for size and to play with the energy. You used to do it all the time when you were a kid. A lot of different spiritual texts talk about this stuff, right? The meek shall inherit the earth. A young child will lead them all. It's allegorical. It means returning to that place of the beginner's mind before you became so contrived. When everything had to be so complex and you had to figure everything out and have a strategy in place. Instead of just moving in the flow and building the light. Building the light is you're called to build the light. How do you build the light? You build the light with awareness. You build the light by being willing to get a different view. You build the light by moving into action. Shadow energy, it has its value. It's the place where all things are born. It's a place of germination. It's also a place of rest. It's a place of renewal. It's a place of release. It's the exhalation, but the inhalation is the light. And right now we need to inhale because we've been exhaling for a long time, letting a lot go. And it's not that there's not more to let go, because there is, but you have to take in the prana. You have to take in the life force energy. You have to power up. You got a long road ahead of you. We're not there yet. You might have a sense of deja vu at this time. This particular moon coming in ties in to the blue supermoon that we had back in 2024. And what happens now around this time in Leo season, it has lasting impact. It's going to carry us forward quite a way. So you want to get this journey, this leg of the campaign off on the right foot. It's important. We won't see the full ramifications of the choice we made. And that's not just about us. That's about the world as a whole until we arrive at the next blue moon, which we're not going to see until 2037. We'll be able to see what the results are at that time. That's when our judgment will come through. Did we balance things out? Did we lose the plot? Were we aware of the price of success? Were we aware of the cost of advancement? Do we have the right idea about what it means to advance? Deep questions. That's why the master maker is on the scene, and your master maker will appear to you in whatever form they need to manifest for you to be able to see that nothing's here to generate the light for you. You are the one who creates the light. Only you can build the light in your life by having the willingness to step out of the shadows. And yeah, in some cases that means letting yourself be seen. It means taking the stage. It means stepping up to the platform. It means speaking your truth. It means getting involved. It means recognizing that no man's an island. And in fact, that's a belief system that really weakens us at this time, actually, especially when there are those who would like to hold all of the power, who are blinded by their greed and do not understand that in oppressing the many, they've already lost the keys to the kingdom. We're going to do a little quest read here, and we'll go more into the particulars of this territory next week when we dive in for the Pick a Stargate reads. But I did want to bring in something tonight, and I'm working with a blend of the Occult Tarot and the Tarot of the Angels. Both decks are by Travis McHenry. I call it my Angels and Imps deck, and that is the environment out there right now. It is polarized. It's Pluto and Aquarius. That energy is going to be in place for a while. So it's time that we learn how to blend the two. And that's what we're going to look at here. How can we move through this energy to support us on our quest? To get through that stargate, to get to the other side of the valley of the shadow and to activate the potential of the star. You have to build the light to be able to see it. Sometimes it just starts with a little flicker in the dark, especially if you've been down there in the valley for a long time. So whatever way you can let the light come in is a good place to start. And whatever way you can straighten yourself by fire, exercise, a little discipline, require a little bit of excellence out of yourself will do a whole lot of good to move you out of the crossroads and into greater expansion and more free-range territory where you don't have to mark your territory all the time. And in doing so, what you're actually doing is you're limiting your playing field because you're overly protective. You're too fearful. You're too suspicious. You're fearful and you're suspicious of the wrong things. You're fearful and suspicious of those who need to be your allies because it's the division that weakens us when you look at it on a macrocosmic level. But it starts with you, man. That's why you got to step up to the plate. Become a self-referential symbol of collective authority. You free yourself from those shackles. You free yourself from the Maya, the illusion. Oh my, how she spins her tangled web that she weaves. And so are the days of our lives. And we see it. We see it in the programming. We see the way that it takes over the senses. We see it. We see it in the algorithm. We see it on the news. We see it in the comments section. We see it. Everybody invested in drama. Everybody invested in fighting. Everybody invested in licking the boots of those who put the division in place. It really is time to say the unpopular things that requires people to have a look at themselves in the mirror. And those of you who are already doing this work, you know, you've had to look at some pretty harsh stuff about yourself. You know, there's many people that are becoming alive to this too, and that's a very positive sign. But look for this master maker to come in, okay? This master maker can come in many forms. It may be a path that you're called to walk. It may be an opportunity that comes your way. It could be like a job opportunity. It could be an opportunity to take a role in a community that you never saw yourself stepping into. It'll bring up all your ugly, man. It'll bring up all the unhealed parts in yourself. It may be somebody that brings you an opportunity to let go of your fear and give yourself over to love. And you're going to be scared shitless, man. It's going to freak you out. You're going to feel like you have no control. It can come in a truth you need to speak, even though your knees are knocking. you got to come on through. You got to come on through. It comes down to a choice, really, at this point. It's a choice to either revere your chains or to get yourself free. And getting free, it hurts to wake up sometimes, man. It does. Because see, when you really wake up, you realize that you got to get involved. Like, you can't just sit there, man. You can't just sit there on the sidelines. You have to get involved. You have to get involved. So it's like, sort of like picking your teams. I mean, you can fight for the dog-eat-dog world, every man for himself, and then everybody loses. And all the free spaces are lost. Or you can choose to reclaim your more feral nature, get back to your roots, pick up the scent of a new kind of trail, and instead align yourself with that full moon and howl and listen for those who howl back to you. It's like finding your pack, okay? Finding the people that are meant to join you on this next leg of the journey. Seeding community. Seeding community. That hub of that wheel of fortune that all these illusory separate timelines branch out from, spoke out from. They're all really the same path. The same path. The difference between those who have hot timelines and those who are still kind of caught up in the matrix is just that. It's just a realization, a shift in perspective. It's recognizing, like, no, we're at the hub of it, man. Do you understand what that means? We get to decide how this turns. We get to decide how it moves forward. But man, the hub has to be plugged in. If the hub's not plugged in, then, you know, the spokes are only as strong as the hub that they're connected to. You know what I'm saying? And without the spokes, if all you got is a hub, you ain't got no spokes, no strong spokes. Well, that wheel ain't going to get very far. So interesting energy coming in here. I'm going to align a little spread here. I'm going to align it with the 4 treasures of the TUATHA DE DANANN. And we're going to first begin in the center of that hub. And we're going to look at the interdimensional realities that are converging on the timeline that is truly the hub itself, okay? That's what we need. We need to get back to the awareness that we're at the center of it all, the center of all this that is spinning around us, and how perfect it is, man, that would come in Leo season. Happy birthday, Leo. Ruled by the sun. The center of this little minuscule, teeny tiny universe in the great expansive multiverse that all of us are bobbing around and thinking everything we're struggling with is so important. It is, and it's not. It is, and it's not. There's something that was concealed that will come through and be revealed to us as a divine revelation. There's a message of great importance that's coming in. It's a message that has the power to destroy us. It wants to try to weaken the hub. It's coming through as a bit of a psyops, I have to say, with this full moon energy. A checkmate move out of cowardice by the powers that be to seize control of our consciousness and try to make us feel safer going back into our cages. It might be a psyop that concerns some kind of disease spreading through the world. Some kind of dis-ease, and let's call it that. Let's call it dis-ease. See, they're becoming uneasy. Something shifting here. But if we are able to cut through the bull and recognize that this Ten of Wands here and this checkmate move is really just so they can tiptoe away from the seam while we're distracted by the latest crisis here, we'll be able to get a little view at that wizard behind the curtain. We'll learn about things that up till now have been secret, things that have been hidden. And that's when we can see this reality shapeshift. It's just as easy as that, really. The more people that see, the more the reality will shapeshift. The more the forces that want to keep us in the valley of the shadow will start to lose control. The more they start to lose control, the more they'll clamp down. Two extremes, both the same side of the same coin. There is no separation, really. It's not even two sides to the same coin. It's all the same coin. It's all one unified energy, a melding of the shadow and light energies. We create the separation. And so this, you have to ask yourselves, how did we get convinced of this grand illusion that there's like 1% of the world's population who gets to say how this plays out? Well, see, that's because we become dull. We become dull and senseless. But we have an opportunity here to come back into our heart, to reclaim the cauldron of Dagda. That will ask us to enter into a period of purification. Something will need to be cleansed away if we hope to rise up to the challenge and reclaim what is very quickly sliding out of our grasp. Fear does a lot, man, to make people want to go back to sleep. It's really true. But see, if we can just build the light, man. If we can face the fear, we can confound the wicked. And we will bring victory and peace. It doesn't mean that it will always be easy. It doesn't mean it's always going to be sunshine and daisies and unicorns racing through sparkling fields of stardust. But it can be good. It can be good. It can be a lot better off than it's been. But it has to start with us, all right? So let's look at the center. This energy wants to meander a bit, okay? We're looking at the interdimensional realities that are converging on the one timeline that is that hub of the Wheel of Fortune. And will give us a certain insight about the timelines that branch out from that hub. We're looking at the frequency, the collective energy in play right now. How are we starting out on this campaign? All right. Bottom of the deck energy. Ooh, High Priestess. Yes, the Priestess makes all things sound, which means the Priestess takes accountability. The Priestess steps up to the plate. The Priestess does not hoard knowledge that is meant to be shared to help people get free. Right? This is what brings success and protection from those who would like us to lose this wisdom, these secrets, these mysteries of life. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at this. The energy, Ace of Pentacles. You see there's an opportunity here. But we do have sort of this trickster, I want to call it a force. It's like, it's a force. It's not like one thing, one person, one, situation in particular. It's a force, and it hops from body to body, and it infiltrates insidiously situation after situation. And it's there to trick us up. Trick us up, and in getting tricked up, we trip up and we lose the plot. We lose the plot. it's not so bad to lose the plot, because you can't really have everything planned. It's good to be aware, but it's also good to be able to differentiate when too much trying to figure something out is actually just a way to really kind of keep yourself stuck, because then you can sort of say, well, I don't have any, responsibility for taking any sort of action. I don't have any responsibility to step in any particular direction because, well, I got all these forces working against me, when you are the force. There's no can. You either do or you do not. And you make your choice there. You got the wheel. The wheel's in your hand. You're the one who makes the wheel turn. You're the one. Are you going to be the hub? Or are you going to be spokes? Are you going to be sort of like divided and unconscious and confused over which timeline should I choose when it's all here right now? And the minute you realize you're at the center of it all, that's when you actually get some momentum going. You're the center of that centrifugal force that propels you forward here. Ironically, what distracts most people, Ace of Pentacles, is like the acquisition of the worldly success and the advancement. Give me more, my precious. And what's funny about that is that the true worldly power, the true treasure, comes in understanding this. It's always the beginning point. And the beginning point is nothing out there. That's the ending point. The beginning point is all right here. It's with the first inception of thought you have in your mind. And again, what kind of thoughts are you going to hold? Are you going to hold thoughts that are dull, senseless, groggy, apathetic, anchored in futility? Are you going to choose the valley? Your wheel ain't going to get you very far moving like that. Or are you going to choose excellence, which requires you to build the life, which requires you to get up, take a step, take an action, get involved, do your part. And sometimes doing your part means just saying, I'm not going to take things sitting down anymore, man. A change needs to come, and I'm the one who's going to change it. See, but it's easier to kind of put it out there. Oh, there's this trickster out there and they want to take my treasure from me. They're going to steal my treasure from me. They're taking my magic from me. They're stripping me of all my power. It's not true. It's not true. And as soon as you see through it, you got your Ace of Pentacles. It's a Stargate of Source too. That's what that Ace of Pentacles is. It is your Stargate. It's when you recognize, oh, I am the vehicle that moves everything forward. I am the Vitruvian man. I am the star. I'm searching for the very thing I am. I keep looking for my star. I am the star. I'm from the stars. I am the vehicle that moves this forward. It will make you rich quickly. Oh, watch. Watch how life changes. But it requires excellence. It requires excellence. You have to master yourself. That requires discipline. It's not easy. It means you can't just have your usual knee-jerk reactions to things. You have to have discernment. You have to have discernment, a discrimination of wisdom about what you value, what you truly value. Can you determine truth from fancy? Do you have to? People get hung up on that. Oh, that's just a flight fancy. You're being unreasonable. That's so childish. Why don't you grow up? Get a life. How are they separate? How are they separate? Are they? Are you sure? Do you know? Have you ever taken a flight of fancy? Might be time. Might be time. Right? Tell us more about this Ace of Pentacles, this timeline, the Stargate. That is the Stargate. When you have a recognition of it, when you really realize it, you're at the center of it all. You start looking at these people that you're viewing as the tricksters, my nemesis. If you start looking at them in a different way, if you start looking at them as a source of reflection, what is this showing me about me? What is coming up in me? And when you feel that ick, that uncomfortable place that you're bumping up against there, oh, that's the mana, man. Go into that. Master that. Make that something of excellence. Refine that. Oh, watch how your world changes. Watch how you start to enter the folly of the divine play and recognize, hey, you know what? These flights of fancy, they ain't half bad. And this is possibly the most responsible thing I've ever done in my life, to come to this realization. Right? So far, I like this. This seems like some good energy. I think we have some merrymakers in this set. I think we got some people here that are ready to embrace a spirit of play. Because, I mean, if it's all going to go to hell in a handbasket anyway, let's just at least, can we enjoy the ride, man? Can we have some fun while we're here? Can we bring our energy together in a creative way? I mean, what better excuse than to live life full blast, especially if it's all going to come to an end. Right? Yeah. See, we got King of Cups in reverse, Tower in reverse, Two of Cups in reverse. Oh, woe is me. The sky is falling. Everything that I thought I would have by now, it's come to nothing. It lays like rubble. It lays like rubble upon the ground. Stuff I have to sort through. Things that I used to believe were going to be here for the long haul have come undone. People I thought I would have by my side for life are nowhere to be found. And I'm running on empty. I got no more juice, man. Stop building in the valley of the shadow, man. You know? Enter through the Stargate. I think you'll find much better places to sort of homestead there. This is about a matter of perspective. Oh, this wanted to stay behind. Yeah, Six of Swords. This is when we chase things of the ego, because we think that's what gives us some kind of belonging or some kind of position in life that commands respect. And in doing so, we don't even respect life itself. Like, we waste, we squander the opportunity. This is seeing something. This is seeing something about ourselves through the eyes of another. It's seeing something in our reactions to what we're experiencing. It's putting ourselves in check and saying, look at it. Look at it. I know it's uncomfortable, but you need to look at this. Only then will we gain the power of the Pegasus and rise above these challenges. We'll have all the horsepower we need to move forward here. You'll travel the world over in an instant. You'll bring anything, anywhere. You'll be able to access it because you're the hub. This is alchemy. That's what it's really about. And you'll learn the truth about the thefts and the hidden treasures. And you're going to look at yourself and you're going to go, I'm the thief. I've been the thief all along. Yes. Because the truth is, the quantum field is willing to do whatever you command. But in order to be able to step into the center of it all, you have to dismantle this programming you got in place that tells you you're powerless. Once you do, oh man, that's going to turn you on. You may even find a star mate that's turned on with you, and together, the two of you, you know, generate your own horsepower there. There could be some restitution coming in here. There could be an ally that went wayward back there coming back onto the path. You might have a date with destiny at that Stargate after all. You'll find the only thing that was stolen is your heart. And I think you may find the person responsible. Good thing too, because once you find them, all of a sudden, here's your heart. It's suddenly found, okay? Interesting energy. All right, so that's what's at the center of it all. Intriguing. Okay. Well, I know we need to take action here. Well, that came out quickly. Yes, you do. What kind of action? Well, you know, it's up to you. Are you going to alchemize it, magician? Are you going to transform it? Are you going to recognize you hold the power? Are you going to recognize that it's you? It's you that holds the Spear of Lugh. And it's that Spear of Lugh that stirs the pot of the Cauldron of Dagda and gets something cooking here. But you got to first decide where you're going to direct that energy here. You're going to have to exercise some spiritual wisdom in working this magic so you don't misfire and then go and blame it on somebody, like hurling a curse your way. And that's how you jinx yourself, you know what I'm saying? But I think that you're recovering from some of that thinking, collective, and you're gaining in wisdom, and you're discovering hidden secrets about yourself. I think you're learning the ways that you kind of like play tricks on yourself, you know, a little sleight of hand with yourself. A little sleight of hand, passing the buck, you know. We've all done it before. We've all done it. Everybody plays the fool sometimes, okay? But it's okay, because you can always begin again. I think you're coming to understand more about like your primal nature. You're getting in touch with your animal body. You're getting more out of your head. You're getting more into the sensual experience where you're able to feel things out. And that's good. That's necessary in order to be able to navigate the waterway that is the Cauldron of Dagda, that's for sure. Because you have to be able to intuit. You have to be able to sense. You have to be able to feel. You can't flow if you can't feel. You know what I'm saying? So this is important. And there's a lot of answers coming in. You're going to be able to finally understand the voice of the waters. You're finally going to be able to understand what your feelings have been trying to tell you, what those sensations in your body have been trying to tell you, what those visions you've been having, those strange dreams, like you're finally going to be able to decode them and understand their secret language. Once you realize, I'm at the hub, I hold the power, I get to direct the wheel, and you take the action to set it in motion, right? So what needs to be alchemized here? I see you need to work your magic, all right? What kind of magic do you need to work here? Magic do you need to work here, collective? Let's see what you need to stir up here, man. What kind of magic do you need to work here, collective? So far on the board, we got Gemini. We have Aquarius. We have Scorpio. We have Aries. We have Cancer, Pisces. And here comes the Queen of Swords making an appearance here. All right. Queen of Swords. Strong Libra energy. Air sign energy. Gemini. Aquarius. Air signs at the forefront right now because we're at the beginning of a manifestation cycle. And when we're bringing the energy together to manifest something, it first pulls down from the ether and merges with the air, the inspiration, the thought. So this is where we're at. But in order to activate that with discernment, we need to master our thoughts. We need to separate what's programming and what is awen, what is creative inspiration that's flooding my consciousness, what is coming from my avatar that's getting me on board with the divine plan for my life and the role I play in the greater collective drama that's unfolding on that stage. It's all theater, darling. So yes, I see you growing in intelligence. It's a higher intelligence. There's a different way you're going to be seeing things here. New thoughts are going to start to take hold of your consciousness. But see, here's the thing. What's different here is as your mind expands, then proportionately to hold the balance, you know, that air needs to feed the fire, move that energy. Because if you keep the air too contained, you're just going to drive yourself nuts. You're going to drive yourself bonkers. You're going to be laying in bed all night, you know, pondering the meaning of life, worrying about what may happen, revisiting times of struggle and things lost. And it's just going to tie you up in a knot. You're going to bind yourself. Nobody's doing it to you. You're doing it to yourself, okay? But see, once you move it into action, then the energy transforms and a person can become like a bird. You can get wings, you can fly. You can transport yourself from one place to the next. It's really true. You want to be in your north node? It's not arduous. That's of the mind. That's the limitations of the mind to think, oh, it needs to be really hard. I need to work myself into the ground. No, you don't actually. The more that you pursue what is making you feel a sense of playfulness, that makes you feel that levity in a world climate that is hell-bent on making us believe that everything's so heavy, so may as well give up, may as well just lay down and let the machine roll over us. It's only by even acknowledging that maybe that's not true, that there can be this new kind of levity that comes in that moves us forward in a new way. It's a movement that happens in the mind, but it's progressive because it changes the way we move in the physical world. It changes the result of what rolls out here. Okay. I like this. All right, so I do see you got the answer. You got the answer. This is what's going to allow you to cut through illusion. It's about having the discernment to know the right place to point the tip of that sword, because that's where you get your answers. So there's a point of reflection there too. What are you needing your answers from? Are you sure? You might think it's a certain person. You might think it's an answer from, you know, God. An answer from a book. An answer from something you always suspected it, but you never had the proof, okay? Until I see that, I'm not going to be satisfied. I'm just going to stay right here. I'm going to let my life just sort of stagnate. I'm going to bed rot. No, I mean, it's definitely time to get up, okay? It looks like acting on the truth is how this is coming through. Whatever your truth is, so use your discernment to how you can put that truth into action. Yeah, look at that. That moves you forward. It moves you forward. It has you no longer just like bleeding out all of your life force energy because you're on the war path and you're in this position where you're trying to face off with someone and get even with someone. And really all you're doing is just entangling yourself further in a karmic loop here. Or you can activate that feral nature and you can use this to give the slip to the sowers of discord, the slayers of men. And it's just, you know, like I said, it's like a body snatcher energy. It's an energy frequency. It hops from person to person. Sometimes we can project it onto others if we haven't made those sabotaging aspects of ourselves conscious. And then there are forces of just pure evil in the world. And as much as we don't like it, that's part of the balance too. Oh, I know. I know it's not easy to look at, but it is there as a source of refinement. The ugliness, the evil in the world is there to test us and temper us. Will we be accountable? Hey man, we're here to learn lessons. This stuff isn't easy. It's not easy. It doesn't make sense, okay? Let's check out the Cauldron of Dagda here. This endless purification we need to be engaged in. Well, what does endless purification mean? This means you are responsible for the thoughts you hold. You are responsible for what you allow to distract you. You are responsible for what you allow into your space, what you co-create with, what you harmonize your energy with. You are responsible. You are responsible for how you choose to spend your time. You are responsible for the choices you make. You have free will. You are responsible. And you may feel like, well, yeah, I can see that, but also there's practical things that are holding me back. And yeah, there are practical things that are holding you back. There's practical things that are holding us all back. We're moving through a major transition here. A major transition at the point we're at in history. And that's why it's so important that we're able to recognize our part, our role, and our value within the scope of community. See, because when each person activates that power within them, masters that, learns how to hold it wisely, oh, now we're cooking, okay? This is when we can turn it all around. And I feel it's going to happen, right? But it's going to require patience, and be patient with others too, because there's a lot of people that are freaking out, man. They are. They're freaking out. But these secrets of nature, I'm telling you, the more the people come on board here, the more you build your light in your own way, in your little world. Even if you just got up every day and you started with, I'm just going to start my day instead of bitching and moaning and groaning about everything I got to do. I'm just going to take just a couple minutes at the start of my day, and I'm just going to build a big, huge field of light around me. No expectations. I'm just going to make believe it. I'm just going to conjure it up. I'm just going to mock it up, and I'm going to see what happens when I do that. How do I feel when I do that? How does my presence affect other people when I do that? And consider it like you can consider it a game. Consider it a little field study. What happens when you generate your energy in a different way and you move about the world around you from that space? How do others see you? How does it shift your reality? It'll start to reveal secrets to you, I'm telling you. It will awaken a latent knowledge in you. It's something that's been there all along. It's like you've just misplaced it. That's all. Everybody has access to it. Nobody is more special than anybody else. Everybody has the potential to step into this, all right? And once you recognize this, you'll recognize, wait a minute, man, there's a way. There's a way that we can all benefit here. Truly. I mean, it's a huge, lofty vision. Yes, I understand that from the current vantage point. But see, there's this thing that when lights start to come on in the room and people start to move different, it's hard when you feel like you're one of the few that's just sort of like yelling into the wind, and you feel like you're not getting anywhere. You're not getting any traction, and nobody gets you, and they think you're weird, and they don't understand you, or they call you crazy, okay? And let me tell you, anybody who's ever achieved anything meaningful in life, anybody who's truly lived on purpose, they had to deal with that kind of scrutiny. They had to deal with being an outcast. They had to deal with people walking away from them, people, shunning them, laughing at them, whatever, thinking they're out of their freaking minds to be doing what they're doing. Anybody who's ever achieved anything innovative has had to walk through that territory. So again, no one's special. Not any more special than anyone else. So it's something we all have to go through. That's what the Master Maker does. And the Master Maker tells us, you know, you can do better than that. You're more than that. Why are you living at this level? Why? Because they tell you to? Because you're afraid? Because you think, what's the point? That's a faulty file, man. You need to defrag, okay? Because once you understand this, you'll come out of that cold. You will come out of the cold, man. All right, so there's some kind of transformation happening here. You can heal. You can heal. And you're protected in your travels forward. If you lighten up, accept what were the losses in life, what you view as failures. It's no big deal, man. It's just an emotional outpouring. Spill it out already. Balance it out. Stop this monkey business, playing these tricks on yourself that are keeping you juggling your fortunes, feeling imbalanced and confused about what the next step is. You know, catch yourself in the act. It's very beneficial, man. It's good to laugh at yourself. It's good to have a good laugh at yourself and realize the way you kind of like pull tricks on yourself. And there may be like a reconciliation point here. You may realize that that enemy did you a favor. All right. All right. A lot of transformational healing work going on here. Some of you may want to do some journeying work. You may want to do some meditations where, you know, you head on down into the underworld and you seek out your empowerments. You seek out your allies, your animal totem allies. And you start working with your imagination a bit. You may feel like, well, I don't know how to journey. Yes, you do. Everybody knows how to journey. It's been with you all along. You've always had the power to go to any realm you want to go to. It's all here. Consult your pineal gland. I'm telling you, as soon as you nourish your inner sight and you let yourself wake up your consciousness, like you used to play with it when you were a kid, it will lead the way. It will. It will show you, and you'll be amazed what things you thought were forever lost. You recover. You'll be amazed how you do belong. It's just somewhere along the way you lost a part of yourself that's made you feel like something's always been out of place. So this can be very helpful. If you look on the medicine bag playlist here on the channel, I have some different journeying videos. I'll start to put out some more of that stuff too to support this for those of you that want to work with that a little bit. They want to do some journeying to like recover your empowerments, to recover your vision. Like really, you can use it for anything. Calling parts of you back, soul retrieval work. Like there's a lot of this going on. It does require us to do some journeying in some cases to transform, to gain things that we lost, gain things that we gave away, not understanding the price of that. It's aspects of ourselves that we gave away in order to find a certain comfort, or to feel like we had a place in the world, or that we found ourselves in certain rooms, or achieved even success in some cases. And yet these are fundamental parts of ourselves that need to be recovered and reintegrated. 5858 on the clock. 1313 448. That's the manifestation point. That's the manifestation point. Okay. So yes, this is what we need to purify. We need to be willing to let go of the disappointments. We need to stop over dramatizing it. Oh, I forget. forget the parable, but it's actually in the I Ching where it talks about, you know, in times of mourning, you know, bang your drum and sing, and in times of joy, bang your drum and sing. It's like it's all the same trip. It is an outpouring. It's an outpouring of emotion. And it doesn't have to be good or bad. Even in great loss, even in deaths, in endings, there's celebration of the life that was lived, that reached its fulfillment of purpose. It's all about how you choose to hold reverence around life itself. Okay? Anything else here about what's in need of purification? There's a need to clear the road, of perceived blocks. There's a need to clear your vessel as well, so you can run your energy cleanly here. That can be benefited through eating close to the earth, staying away from a bunch of processed crap that's full of all kinds of chemicals and artificial this and that's that are meant to dull your consciousness. It really is true. Keep you in a state that's lackluster, keep you drained of your vitality, your energy. There's a reason why that junk's in our food. It's all interconnected, okay? So this is about, you know, taking responsibility, taking action, even on things like that can turn things around. Be mindful of what you're consuming, what you're taking in, you know, who you're hanging out with, how you feel in their presence, you know, what you're tuning in for when you're scrolling. Maybe take some time to tune out as well. It's important. It's a balance, okay? And also, it gives you a chance to tune in to yourself as well. Queen of Wands. Ooh, I like it, okay? So yeah, I see you're moving forward here. You're moving forward here. There's sort of like this sense of, okay, I'm moving through the desert. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name, or in this case, camel. And yeah, you may not know where you're going to end up. You may wonder if you're going to end up at midnight at the oasis here. But I do feel like you are choosing to move forward independently here. You are choosing to activate the potential of the magician, the high priestess, the wizard. And you're ready. You're ready to go on this quest. And it's this quest itself that restores your dignity where you feel like it was lost. You don't need to have anybody else rectify that for you. And you're going to go in search of the answers you need to find. But you're going to find them through you opening up to the journey itself. You choosing to move forward, to use your power to generate that light. Light that's going to light your way, just like when the hermit steps on the path. Just like when the hermit steps on the path to find their way through the darkness, using only that lantern of light that is shining the way ahead. Based all on discernment, the wisdom that's been gained from one's life experience. Got Virgo in the South Node right now. So, I mean, this is good. We got this very wise, sharp, discerning Merlin, you know, kind of energy hanging out down at the South Node. I could see it that way too. You know, it's like the magician is hanging out at the South Node. Man, if we ever had a chance to transform something, it's now. And I do see you having this willingness to move forward. And you'll be surprised as you sort of take responsibility for yourself and you take this action to transform what you can, to do what you can, to set in motion those changes you want to see in the world, and ask, well, what's my part? What can I do right here, right now, to shift the way I'm feeling, to shift what I'm seeing, to shift how I'm moving through my days? You'll find that where you're coming up against all kinds of gridlock right now with different people that you're dealing with in your life, all of a sudden, people are going to be more willing to like cooperate. That's what we need. We need a spirit of cooperation here. Yeah, more willing to cooperate. We got a Two of Cups here. There's somebody who would like to cooperate with you, but they also understand there's something to digest here between the two of you. Something that's kept both of you in this place where you're kind of closed off from each other, shielded, you know, marking territory. Way we opened up, right? Wanting to seize what's supposed to be free range here. Look at that Spear of Lugh energy right there. See, but the shield, it's like it's blocking its full potential to hit the mark, man. And that's because there's something that needs to be digested here, but it's submerged. And only when you understand the voice of the waters and the way that your senses, your emotions are shifting, will you understand what's hiding out there. It's treasure that needs to be brought up to the surface. It needs to be made conscious. Then, you know, you can get on board with what seemed to be a blockage up till now. Oh, so many skeletons with death. Yeah, it's that Pluto territory. They're still there, you know, all those skeletons, they're still there, but it is time for them to come out of the closet. It doesn't help to keep them there. See, if you just unearthed all this stuff that you feel like you got to keep buried, you'd be liberated immediately. You'd have the illumination that you need. Some of you have, for all these skulls that are here, there's like a brilliant idea. There's a dream you once had the courage to dream, but then somebody told you that it was nonsense. Somebody told you that you weren't capable of it. Somebody smashed your dreams. Somebody made you plug into the matrix, and then you were dutiful and you obeyed orders from that point on. And it's like, this is what's making you feel like you're like a wild animal in a cage. See, if you bring it to conscious awareness, you may even be afraid. You may be somebody that you were aware of certain talents you possessed. You were aware of certain gifts you had. In fact, even now, those of you that are taking steps to live the life that you've always dreamed of living, because why not? Everything's coming undone. You know, if we're working on borrowed time here, then I may as well live life full tilt. I may as well extract every bit of mana out of it I can. And you may know that once I step into this, people may get a certain impression of me because I'm mirroring something at them. I'm mirroring a part of them that they also want to actualize. And so initially, though, that can cause a lot of enmity. This can cause a lot of jealousy, or this can cause a lot of accusation that you're being too big for your britches. And yes, you will have it. You'll even have grown adults acting like their child that never got to have its dreams fulfilled, acting up and ganging up on you to try to, you know, discourage you from doing what you're doing. And I get that, okay? But you sacrificing that, your mission, what you're here to do, because you don't want to stir up any dissension. You don't want there to be any conflicts. So let me just like tamp it down. Let me just play it safe. Let me keep everyone happy. And meanwhile, you're miserable. And you're not living on purpose. You're not fulfilling the reason why you're here in the first place. And Ted agrees with that. So you have to have the courage to bring all these different aspects of yourself and all of these unclaimed dreams. You have to reclaim them. You have to go to the underworld if you need to. You need to find them. You need to bring all of those parts of you back home. And only then are you really going to feel integrated. You'll also overcome the hold of the fear that the darkness has over you. You'll understand that, oh, wait, it's nothing to fear. Because now I know what's there. There's actually so much I can do with this, and I'm free. I'm not held back anymore because I'm trying to avoid what's there, what I haven't wanted to see, because it requires me to step into the challenge that the Master Maker is issuing to me. I mean, it brings justice. That Libra energy there. It brings rebirth with the bat medicine. Yeah, it may be the dark, but you'll find your way through to the other side. Oh, yes. You'll hear the tales of how the angels fell. You'll understand the past, present, and future. You'll also understand how the angels rise too. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. So many fallen angels. Are you an angel? You know, the angels are all part of Creator too. And you're part of that as well. Just another aspect of your consciousness trying to find its way back home. Queen of Pentacles coming in with that. Very interesting. Queen of Pentacles coming in with that as I was just about to dive into the North Point, which is the Stone of Destiny. It's where the Stargate is. We see that this is protected. There is shielding around this Stargate from anything that could corrupt this entryway. You see, there's the Chariot right there. There is the path that you will be able to pick up that leads you there, straight shot. You can teleport there in an instant. You can turn any metal into gold. This is the point of transmuting the water into wine. Okay. Interesting. The North Node is also the place of connecting with the energy of the ancestral lineage of the TUATHA De DANANN. So it's where we can receive our ancestral guidance. It's where we are able to access the ability to decipher the signs, the synchronicities that will be signposts on our path to activating this destiny. It's also where traveling companions will join us along the way. These can be allies. These can be challengers. Same coin, man. Queen of Swords. That's the truth, okay? I like this energy. You got the flaming sword of truth here. He of the fiery sword, energy of fairy coming in there. He of the fiery sword provides the will and the courage necessary to do what needs to be done to transform a situation. And this is what acquires all the treasures of heaven and earth. It's also giving me Archangel Jophiel vibes, who brings down all the beauty of the heavens to root on earth. Ritual and ceremony. Okay, coming in here at this time. Ritual and ceremony can acquire all the treasures of heaven and earth. What if you viewed every moment of your life as a ritual, as a ceremony? very intentional. You know, rituals like that. Everything is intentional. Revolutionary role playing is like that too. You can hold an intention. You can grok it. You can shapeshift into that quality. You can try that on for size. You can harmonize with that energy. You can call in the light. You can set your frequency. That's a ritual. And then you're like a ritual in motion. That's the point of alchemy here, through using your will, not on others, but your will in how you manage your energy and the way you set the template for the architecture of your reality to build, okay? Can acquire all the treasures of heaven on earth. So there's something really coming into alignment here. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. We've had the Queen of Swords come out a couple times now. So this is a truth-telling time. And along with those air signs, Virgo is also associated with the swords too. Okay, that's South Node energy. So we have the ability to take action to transform the deception that's kept us living out of that sense of limitation at the South Node. We have the strength we need to overcome the challenges of the past. And it looks like there already is some strong desire to preserve one's purpose, to preserve one's destiny, to not just sort of take it lying down, to be willing to get back up, okay? And I do feel like there's allies and also challengers along the way, and maybe both eventually become traveling companions. You never know how things will go. You might be surprised. So any more details about this, about any synchronicities we need to be on the lookout for? Page of Cups. Four of Swords. Somebody wants peace here. That's what I see with the Page of Cups. Somebody wants peace. They also might want to be included. There's somebody here who might want to weave a little magic with you. They might want to call something into being with you. 1:17:17 on the clock. This could be a star mate, all right? But what's interesting here is there's sort of like a resistance to approach. Like they feel like they should give it a rest because you can appear like a soldier here. See, you've been in the dog-eat-dog world for too long. You're like sort of, you know, surveying your territory here, and you're ready to use that Spear of Lugh to, you know, bring down anybody who tries to go beyond your borders here. But there might be something new that needs to be seen here. Tell me about this. Tell me about this. I know that whoever this is, they put up your hackles. Queen of Cups energy. Okay. Water sign energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's also... to me, it's the quality of being able to trust your intuition too. And having that discernment, all right? Having the discernment to understand when there is something you need to be aware of. I mean, you can't be delulu. There are things that you do need to be mindful of. There are people who do move unethically in the world around you. There are people that are unhealed and they're not in a place where it's safe for you really to give over your faculties of awareness, that maybe, you know, there's limitations to a role somebody can play in your life, okay? But what I do know also is that if you appear like a soldier, then there's something that's coming up in you, right? If you're coming from a very defensive position, then there's something there to be aware of. Something's being dinged in you that you need to look at. That might be a bit of this like master, maker, challenger. You might be getting a little bit of alchemical challenge in somebody who wants to approach you and how you attend to that situation. What's the correct discernment about this? What's the correct discernment about this? A lot of like warrior, warding energy around this. In some cases, suspicion of manipulation and magic. Yeah, you may feel like somebody's been gunning for you. You may feel like somebody's been working you. I mean, I see it. It's coming in with the 8 of Pentacles, with the 9 of Swords. I feel like there's a history of long fought battles with this character. Something has been left unhealed for a long time. It's creating a bit of coup. Coup is decay, and it's a force in and of itself. It can be quite problematic. I do feel like you are dealing with a tricky character here, and so this is a matter of being true to yourself. It's a matter of trusting your own intuitive knowing. It's a matter of you also knowing that you have the ability to alchemize and transmute anything that's sent your way with malice. Because I do see that this character, the way they kind of operate, the way they work is, yeah, they can turn water into wine, but then they can turn it back again. You know, it's like, psych, thought you had a friend. They can turn blood into wine, you know. In other words, like feast off your vital life force energy there. They can even, you know, get a power up off of some bad blood as well. They can turn any metal into legal tender coins. And so this is somebody who definitely has more of a focus on worldly power as well. And I mean, and on more of a macrocosmic level, this is what we're up against all collectively here. This is like the boogeyman, the thing that goes bump in the night. But see, also serves a purpose because makes fools wise. Makes fools wise. This is where you have to hold yourself accountable. What are you going to let in? It's all up to your ability to discern, all right? So you can't pass the buck, okay? You have to have accountability for the choices you make here. And if you know letting something in is going to embroil you in some battle, or if you got your spidey senses tingling, you're like, this doesn't feel right, you have to trust that. It doesn't mean you have to be aggressive. It doesn't mean you need to enter into some kind of, you know, flame war here or anything of that nature. But what it does mean is you recognize that you're seeing something clearly. You made a correct judgment call and you don't let yourself be duped. Because if you are dealing with a sort of slippery turncoat kind of energy here, and you know that it's just going to flip on you again, well, then be smart. You know, you don't need to take that on, but you also don't need to injure it because it's already operating from an injured place to be operating like that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let your aim be true and you won't miss the mark, okay? Use your actions and your words wisely. Focused. Master the way you direct your energy, how you use it, and don't allow it to be manipulated by outside projections. Don't take on outside psychic projections from the unhealed and call it a curse when really you just jinxed yourself, right? Judgment. I'm telling you, judgment, right? Sagittarian energy. There will be atonement for errors in this case, I feel, where you do have serious opposition. And when we're dealing with true malevolent forces in the world at large, there will be the destruction of the power that's held by those who are enemies of truth, those who want to humiliate will find a sense of humility and see things in a new way by the time all of this shakes out. And I mean, in terms of this big saga that we're all moving through, it's got a ways to go, collective. We're not going to see this outcome anytime soon, all right? But this is also about, don't take on the judgments of others. Like if they tell you you're being unreasonable when you know darn well, like, this doesn't feel right to me, or you're not seeing that accurately. Like, don't let yourself be gaslit. Don't let yourself fall for, you know, some tall tale, hook, line, and sinker that you know is just being used as an in. Okay? And be willing to take whatever they bring your way. You know, chin up, chest out. Represent it. You'll be amazed when you just stand in the truth of your own judgment calls here. You trust your own soul's directive. The way it shifts things. And the reality is, there can't be a conflict unless you're an active participant here. So this is about sort of like, again, working with the mastering energy, mastering the need to be reactive and instead move from a place of responding. And you can have a very clear delineation between what you're willing to take on and what you want to, you know, not have in your sphere of influence or engagement. And once you make those distinctions, you take full ownership of your life. You no longer blame other people, okay? Right? So I think there's going to be a judgment made in this situation. I also feel like there's some renewal energy coming on the other side of this. And with this, we have the Knight of Swords crossing, okay? Yes, intellectual richness will protect the fertility of women. It makes me think of protecting all those seeds that the Empress has sown and protecting the harvest that will come in, right? It will allow you to, you know, ponder that orb of yours and know what needs to be cut away, what needs to be preserved, right? And if you feel unsure, ask to be shown. Connect with the wisdom of your ancestors. Connect with the wisdom of the higher realms to know the correct call to make. Know when it is time to end a cycle on something so you can protect. So you can protect that Ace of Pentacles there with the Ten of Swords. Again, there will be a revelation that comes in around this. There will be something you see clearly here that will protect you from sadness. Some of this will be coming up in your dreams, so pay attention to those in-between spaces, those liminal spaces of when you're dreaming or when you're having a visionary experience, when you're allowing yourself to brainstorm or when you're allowing yourself to drop in for some meditation, you know. Notice what comes through there. You'll be surprised what bubbles to the surface. There will be a lot more of this coming in, all right? Okay, let's check out Fragarac, because it's coming back around to Fragarac now, which is really where we begin, but the beginning is the ending, and the ending is the beginning. It all meets up there again. So let's get a message coming in. Let's get a little message coming in from those magical cities, those magical lands of the north that house all of those treasures of the TUATHA DE DANANN. And right here we got a message coming in from that sword in the stone. Love and submission will cure what is ill and will give longevity on the path ahead. Yes. Giving yourself over to the directive of your heart is what will create the pathway of transformation. A lot of you may start to have a sense of purification coming up in the heart, like heart fire. a lot of heat coming into this space. It's because at this time there is a lot of expansion coming in through the heart center, through Anahata here. It is the new way forward. There's a bridge that's being built between the conscious awareness and the heart space at this time. So a lot of people are going to start to feel energy shifting in this chakra center here. So tune into your heart. Tune into your heart. It will guide you. You know, stop dropping into your gut. Drop into your heart. How's it feel in your heart? Does it make your heart feel shut down, or does it make you want to open up wider to it? Okay. It's something that's been hidden there from you all along. So you're too busy strategizing with the Page of Swords. Too much in the head. Needing to get into the heart. The heart is the place of refuge. It's what holds all your dreams. It's what aligns you with your purpose. It will reveal mysteries to you. Mysteries that are normally hidden from mortals because they're too focused on the acquisition of worldly power. But this is what's fueling us moving forward here. We gotta awaken the heart space. And it's only when you are in that place of complete giving yourself over to the soul's directive that you do even have the power to pull the sword from the stone. Remember, the sword isn't pulled from the stone with force, but with complete gentleness. It's a gentle hand that pulls the sword from the stone. That is the lore around Excalibur. And see, there's like, do you see the difference here? The difference in the way the sword is obtained. Like, you got one person here who wants to steal the sword. They're plotting, how can I do it? I think so-and-so over there has that sword. What can I do to steal it away from them? And so they're more using it in an inauthentic way. I mean, look, they're even masked. So they're not achieving true power. They're trying to take a sword that somebody else already pulled out from the stone through gentleness, through the gentleness and landing into their heart space here. You can't obtain the power of it that way. It doesn't work that way. That's what that whole destiny swapping stuff is. It's like, you cannot steal somebody's purpose from them. I don't care what anybody is saying about that. It's not even possible. The only thing that can hold you back from your purpose and activating your destiny is yourself. Yourself. It doesn't mean you won't face challenges, but that's what the Master Maker is about. You have to be refined. You have to go through a process of alchemy in action. You are in a state of alchemy. You are transforming. You are shape-shifting. You are taking on a new form. The old form is falling away. It's not something you can strategize. You got to give yourself over to it. It's only in that space of moving fully into that allowing that you gain the power to pull the sword from the stone. So no matter how somebody tries to plot or plan or fixates on you and your sword of truth that you pulled from that stone that activates your destiny, it holds no power for them. So find refuge in that, right? Don't live in fear that so-and-so is trying to take away my destiny from me. It's not even possible. You're distracting yourself from the work you need to do to take down your defenses and to land in your heart and the refuge there and to trust what it tells you about what you are called to do on your path at this time. There's a lot of tricky ways that we avoid personal accountability here. All right. Ooh, Danu is not going to play. Danu is not going to play. She is the deepest well, but she wants to give us confirmations of her purpose. She wants to let us know her charge, what she is charging us to do here. There are gifts to be received, gifts to be awakened, gifts that you need to pull up out of the roots of your being, gifts that need to become reanimated from your ancestral bloodline here, magics that need to be recovered. Okay, so let's see what she wants us to know here about these gifts to be received. What is the message she wants to bring in for us about these treasures? Danu is that feminine force, that primal feminine force that is also the mother of the TUATHA De Danann, the queen of fairy. Some very beautiful origin stories around her. In many different traditions, she has many different names. She's that feminine force. So there's a need to awaken the feminine force. This is a message that has been coming in recently. It doesn't matter if you're a man. It's being able to tap into the yin quality. That polarity, which is about being able to receive, being able to intuit, being able to feel, being able to sense, being able to tap into your creative energy. It's important for men to be able to tap into this energy. Just like it's important for women to be able to tap into the yang energy of the Spear of Lugh, to be able to hold their power and wield it wisely, not in an imbalanced way, but with strength and self-assuredness here. Right? This is also the balancing too of the inner qualities of that polarity there, realizing there's a unifying point. Okay, that's the conjuncto, the sacred marriage, they call that, the alchemical point of transformation. That's when the sleeping serpent rises and awakens the hidden knowledge within you. You gain self-awareness, self-illumination. Self-awareness lets you know, oh, wait a minute. There is no separation between me and Creator. It's actually not a sin. You know, you get kicked out of the garden, man, because the garden is like a limitation. You don't need to be in the garden once you're self-aware, because you recognize, why hang out in just the garden when there's like a whole unlimited quantum playing field out here? Right? Became naked, vulnerable in the recognition, like, oh my gosh, I'm ashamed. I didn't recognize it all along. All right. What are the gifts, the confirmations coming in here about the collective's purpose? What are the gifts, confirmations coming in here about the collective's purpose? Oh, something we're really not looking at here. Something we're really not looking at here. Six of Cups. Some of you are afraid to hear truth. Some of you are afraid to hear truth. So it's coming through. You're afraid to hear truth because you realize in hearing the truth, it puts the onus on you to transform. Yes, that's the truth. Hierophant, that is the truth. It's realizing, oh, I thought I was lured in. I thought somebody else had me caught up here. No, I'm the one holding the hook. See, but when you recognize this, it will transform you. And then look at that there. We got the King of Wands. Eloquence. You'll gain the power of that inner authority to understand that you hold the fire. You hold the air. You hold the ability to activate the change. This is the transmutation point. So I like this because the Queen of Wands came out. Now we have the King of Wands. So this is like the Magician and the High Priestess getting on board here. Seeing through the illusion. Oh, wait a minute. That was the hook. That was the hook. I need an intermediary to access this creative power. No, you're one with the creative power. You're a vessel for it. But see, here's the hook too. Here's the rub. Everyone you see also is. Also is. It's controversial. Okay? It's controversial. But, I mean, who created the devil? Just saying. Just saying. It's the master maker. It's the master maker. That torch in the tarot that the devil holds, pointing it down, is trying to make you aware that you are revering your chains. You're chained to an illusion, and that's what keeps you bound. It's all that you see, that you are chained and you are at the mercy of the boogeyman. And you can blame the devil. He's a great scapegoat. Or you can recognize, no, it's my responsibility to make the subconscious conscious. It's my responsibility to shine a light on these impious aspects of myself that keep me chained. How can I reach this point of self-awareness, self-knowledge, if the Ida and the Pingala are chained? They're not free to move. They're not free to rise up. The Sushumna, they're not free to rise up. That sleeping serpent is not free to rise up in my Kundalini life force to make me self-aware that all I see is all there is. This is how you gain power over your world. This is how you are able to see, I am responsible. So if there is imbalance, it's because I do not hold the power wisely. Or I give over my power to others and I'm bound because I refuse to take responsibility. That I do have a choice. I do have free will. I do have free will. Oh, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to look at that. Can we change the subject, Broad? I don't want to look at that. All right, this is what's coming through, man. It's interesting. Shifting. Okay, let me get one round of these. These cards are wanting to come out. Make it black and white. Make it night and day. Let's look at it through the polarized lens, man. Let's keep it clean. What do you want them to see? What is the nourishment you want them to drink from the deepest well, Danu? Help them tap the source. Tell them what gifts are to be awakened in them. If they're brave enough to see through these illusions, this programming that's kept them divided. Remember this. You have to remember this. I know. I grew up in a strict Christian background, okay? I know the Bible. I've been in many a Bible study in my time growing up, let me tell you. And even as an adult, there's many times I have turned to reading scripture through a whole different lens than how it was programmed in me, a whole different understanding of the reality that it's an alchemical text. And when you do that, there's a real reclamation that happens there too, okay? An understanding, to be able to have the ability to look at different systems of spiritual thought, and to see the value or the connecting point there is first a wonderful starting point of a bridge to understanding, self-awareness, understanding of others. It does a lot to heal senses of division. King of Swords. See, this is the judgment energy. This is like being judgmental, casting judgments. And it's also what keeps us really separated too. King of Swords in reverse, shut down. 2 in the head. No, I only have my view. I'm not willing to see something else. I'm not willing to open my mind to even have understanding from another's lens. Nobody's asking anybody to surrender their particular truth. This is just a willingness to listen to somebody else's perspective, hear where they're coming from. What does it provoke in you when you hear another's perspective? Can you slow your roll a little bit? Not get so reactive. Nobody's telling you you have to invest in their path, but there's something here about for growth in the future. We have to be willing to allow people to have the respect of their own sources of spiritual sustenance here. You see? That's how we take the energy of the pentagram and we turn it upright. We bring it into a place of balance. Oh, look at that. Cast off the shadows of illusion, reclaim the sun. There's that dawn. Why? Because we're entering that space of innocence, you know? Innocence. This is the way forward. Not casting judgment on how others choose to connect with Source, connect with their souls. We all have different paths to walk, but it really is true. Many rivers lead to the same source, right? That is the deepest well. This message keeps wanting to come in. Wow, look at that. Look what comes out here. 6 of Wands with the Magician. That's where the victory is. This is the transformation point right here. Okay? This is the message that's coming through. It's really understanding that all you see is all there is. Does that mean that there's not injustice in the world? Of course not. Of course there's injustice in the world. There's atrocities in the world. But if all you see is the injustice and you don't see any way that you can be part of bringing about the balance and the restoration because you tell yourself, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm just sort of chained here. Well, then that's all you're going to continue to see is injustice because you've chosen to bind yourself to injustice, to be complicit in injustice. But when you recognize, no, I can't stay asleep. I have to get actively involved. I have to do something here. That's when you take your power back. That's when one by one, all the lights come on in the room and we do forge a new way forward. There's a greater victory at stake here, of course, for the overall collective energy, but there's also personal victory here too, through having a new understanding of something that perhaps in the past you demonized. It could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be a path of exploration you felt called to, but you in some way had fear around stepping into the power of this because somebody conditioned you to believe that you would lose your heart if you explored in this direction, or you would be hurt if you gave yourself over to this. And so you resist it and you change yourself to comfort instead of, feeling the burn of the recognition of some things that you haven't been aware of here. haven't been aware of, but maybe sensed. I mean, it looks like you felt the burn. I can't ignore here too that, you know, he's got like this torch about to light up this person's tail here, you know. So you're gonna feel the burn here. It's interesting because it's lighting up the masculine's tail. So it's sort of like saying, are you gonna act on what you know is there that you're trying to repress? Are you gonna ignore? Are you going to ignore your responsibility to take action to see the shift in power in the world as well, and the shift of power in your own world, to be the alchemist, to transform your life? Let's see what I got here. Oh, it's a start. Page of Wands, getting the message, getting the memo, having the willingness to learn, the willingness to discover, the High Priestess there, willing to do the deep dive, to gain the hidden knowledge, to start out on the quest, the journey, even if at times it may be a bit burdensome, even if at times it might be heavy lifting, even if at times you might feel like you're wandering through the dark. Wondering if you'll ever find the fulfillment of your heart. But the sooner you start, everything you've ever wished for is at your command. And your stargate shows up. And the horns of judgment sound. And you finally find yourself getting out of the dimensions of that rut that's become an early grave. And you answer the call. I like it. Okay. Ooh, what's that? Oh! Here's what you can't see. The Empress is waiting there. Wow. Okay. Quite a message. Let me do a cut of the deck. Cap this off. Wheel of Fortune. Just the way we opened up. Okay. What are you going to do? Are you going to be the hub? This is the choice being presented to you. This is the challenge. It's up to you. You're going to rise to it. 17. That's the question of the star. You either hang out here wondering if you should invest in it, sitting in the valley of the shadow where all you're trying to grow can never get the sun it needs to truly produce the harvest you're hoping for here, or you can transform this tricky energy, solve the inner riddle, gain the truth and discernment you need to find your way through, step into the hub, and look at that. Straight shot all the way through. I love it. Good energy. Don't stay in this space, okay? Don't stay in that space where you protect yourself from something that you really should be embracing. I don't know why it's coming in like that, but I feel like there's a challenge here. There's an experience you're meant to have. It's something that just opens you up wide. It may feel like it devours you whole, but whatever is digested there, it was high time. You're about to break on through the other side.